KaVontae Turpin burst onto the scene in 2022 with 2 back-to-back kickoff and punt return touchdowns.
KaVontae Turpin, gone. Touchdown Cowboys, 72 yards.
But his reign as a punt and kick returner started a couple months prior in the USFL, where Turpin won the MVP and garnered the attention of NFL teams. That's why the Cowboys made it a priority to go out and sign him prior to the 2022 NFL season. In the preseason, he took 2 special team plays to the house and looked well on his way to becoming one of the league's best return men. While Turpin never took one to the house during the regular season, he did get close a few times, and in the process, helped out the offense with flipping field position. But he never could break off that big return to steal a touchdown on special teams. He was good enough to make a Pro Bowl in his rookie season. We're not here to talk about his ability as a punt or kick returner. For the most part, I think it's a given that he is back in that role for 2023, assuming that he stays healthy and there isn't an unknown guy that could take that spot. I want to talk about Turpin's receiving abilities and how grossly misused he was in this Cowboys offense. Also, what should we expect to see from the Cowboys' fastest player in 2023? Let's get into the video. During the 2022 season, Turpin was targeted just 1 time in the regular season, which he caught for 9 yards. He wouldn't be targeted again until the divisional round of the playoffs on that awful last play against the 49ers. Thank you, Kellen Moore. Other than that, he was pretty much a non-factor on the Cowboys offense. Turpin never played more than 6 snaps in a single game. And while he might just be a gadget player, you'd think Dallas would have at least used them for some eye candy on end arounds, fake screens. Hell, just let the dude run straight as fast and as far as he can go. But no, Kellen Moore used him on less than 30 passing snaps last season. That's just criminal when you look at the offensive weapons Dallas had last year, and an offense that was suffering from a lack of speed. Before we continue with this video, I have to tell you guys about Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app that you can play in states like Texas, California, and more. It gives you a way to play on game day. All you have to do is sign up using my code DoubleMove and you will get a 100% deposit match. NBA, MLB, NHL, MLB Live, anything and everything you can imagine. But if you scroll all the way to the end, you will see season stats for all of these guys. So I'm going to choose Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, and Trevor Lawrence. And personally, I think Dak Prescott has more than 4,300 passing yards this season. So we're going to put more. For Kirk Cousins, we're going to do less. Jalen Hurts, we're going to do less as well. And Trevor Lawrence, we're going to do more. Now I choose how I want to play it. A power play or a flex play, you can choose, but we're going power play for $25 to win $250. So if you want a 100% deposit match, you deposit $50. Prize Picks will give you $50. The link will be down below in the description and the top comment on this video, so head down there and check that out. So on a team that was completely void of speed on the outside, Dallas had their fastest receiver catch 2 passes all year long. He played 26 total pass snaps the entire year, and I get that he wasn't going to be a featured piece for the offense, but at least get him in there so defenses have to respect the downfield speed. Even if you know the ball isn't going to him, do you think teams were scared of Noah Brown or a still injured Michael Gallup? No. But that was the Kellen Moore offense, so I think we can expect to see some different looks with Turpin in the lineup, with Mike McCarthy now calling the Cowboys plays in 2023. Turpin definitely had an interesting quote this offseason that makes me think the Cowboys will have a better plan for him going forward. Turpin said, "Me and Mike McCarthy talked about it during our exit forum following the 2022 season, and he told me to get my rest because this year they're going to try to find some plays and ways to get me some touches on offense. So that's what I did. I just have to stay patient. I'm just trying to do my job and make sure the coaches see me as a playmaker." For this video, I'm going to sit here and rip Kellen Moore for just a minute. And for Moore as a play caller, this is where you see that hint of Jason Garrett in his offensive schemes. This is all opinion based, so don't take it for fact, but I think that Moore was one of those coaches that had an idea of who a player was, and that was how he was going to be used. There was no using that player out of the set box that Kellen Moore had put him in. He probably saw Turpin as a small-sized punt returner that just made an impact on special teams. But if Turpin had to come in for the offense, Moore's brain would completely just short-circuit because he just didn't know how to use him. There just was no plan. Aside from the offensive scheme, I do think Turpin will benefit from being around this organization for longer than he was in the previous offseason. Last year, he didn't sign with the Cowboys until late into training camp, July 27th to be exact. That could have been why there weren't more installs in the offense to get him the ball. It wasn't like the Cowboys had a lot of mouths to feed in the wide receiver room, so you think they would have came up with something in 17 weeks. The only problem I have with projecting how KaVontae Turpin will do in 2023 is the Cowboys have a lot more mouths to feed this year than they did last. That's why I don't think Turpin gets that much more opportunity at receiver compared to what we saw in 2022. I think Dallas will at least try to get him the ball 2 or 3 times a game compared to less than half a touch that we saw last year. And for a player like this, I think you have to lower your expectations. I don't think you have to get him the ball more than 2 or 3 times a game, but with his speed, he could at least be some eye candy in the backfield for rundowns or a threat in the screen game. With his size, Turpin is never going to be a high volume guy that you run your offense through. But much like the Cowboys used Lucky Whitehead back in 2015 and 2016, Turpin's speed is at least a threat on the field and would give defenses something else to focus on. So how do you feel about Turpin in 2023? Cowboys have a lot more receivers to get the ball to this year, but with a player like this, I think you can use him smartly. He could be a guy that picks up 10 to 15 yards on an end around and gets you a first down and keeps moving the chains. You don't have to use him at an alarmingly high rate, but at least get him on the field, because I do think there is still some playmaking ability with KaVontae Turpin. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all. Bye.
Go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.